Hey guys, Fearu here, and we are on episode number 29. I know it's been a while, but I'm trying to catch up. I have a whole bunch of topics that people have wanted me to cover, so I'm going to go ahead and get to them. But I had this game a lot earlier in this week, literally probably 5 or 6 days ago, and it was making me think because it was an in-house, and we were all in TeamSpeak talking to each other, which you would think would make for a really solid game. And we were communicating in the sense that we were talking to each other, but the way that we communicated was poor because we so often didn't know what the other one was doing. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about how we talk to each other in game, and if you do use voice chat, which you really should, um, maybe help you think of some ways to improve upon that. It's something we almost take for granted, but sometimes you're even when you're talking to your teammate, he still doesn't know what you're doing. So I wanted to just look at a few examples of that and how we can improve. So here we are in one of my games, and this is a dual lane mid, and this is the reason I actually want to talk about communication. So what happened this game, and you can't really tell because you don't have. I wish I recorded our voices when we did this game, but essentially what happened was we were in this dual lane, and we would both be like go go go, and I would say go go go, and he would say go go go, and then neither of us would go. We'd be like, what happened? And basically we were both expecting the other to initiate, and it's not important as to who should have initiated when. It's not important. Should I have started with a slow? Should I start with a free? Should he started with a chuck? Should he started with a stun? That's actually not important. What is important is if you're expecting the other person to start, like if you're expecting them to go first, just tell them. Be like, hey, if they're out of position, look for an opportunity to stun them and I'll follow up. Or, if he's looking for me to start, he can be like, hey, listen, if you see them out of position, start with a slow or start with a free, whatever he's expecting. It's not actually important what's right. It's more of just, okay, hey, you should let them know. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you're both going to say go, 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 and then no one's going to go, and you're going to be like, what happened? And that's just really easy communication. Because so often we'll just talk in simple forms of okay go now, okay back, or okay go, and then you both go on separate targets, and we can fix those things really easily. Now going forward, uh, the things I want to talk about are more relative as to who's playing what role. Like I said earlier, if you're playing solo queue, you can try to make every call, but if I'm Soul Reaper here, if I'm playing Soul Reaper, I don't want to be making a call of, oh, hey, Pebbles, it looks like you and Riley have an opportunity to gank Forsaken Archer. I can make that call. I can say, hey, it looks like they're out of position if they are. And it's just a lot harder for me to worry about last hitting and simultaneously worrying about that and worrying about where Glacius should ward. And that's actually the first thing I want to talk about is the support role. Something that's not often talked about is where you ward. You can have an idea, you can have a plan, like, oh, I'm gonna put a lane ward down at the 5 minute mark so we can farm, but then we don't farm. We end up being aggressive. Or you can put a offensive ward behind the tower of top because you want to push top, but then your team doesn't push. So before you even lay down that ward, before you place that ward, that second set, at the 5, 6, 7 minute mark, talk to your team. Usually the first wards are easy. You have one at the rune, one at the pole, but then when you drop that second set, talk to your team. Be like, okay, hey, where do you want these wards at? How are we planning to play the next 6 minutes of the game so I can drop them in the right spots? That's the first thing I kind of want to talk about, and something you should think about because it's not often discussed. Um, and that I think that's really important. The next thing I want to look at is a ganker's role and all the different things they should be discussing. Okay, so here we are in another game. I'm going to be playing, let me slow this down. Okay, I'm going to be playing Fade. I'll be playing the ganker role. This initially started as dual mid, but I want to talk about that early mid game and why gankers need to be so talkative. Um, like for example, Predator could be calling, "Hey, it looks like top is really out of position. You should come look to teleport to gank them." He can make that call, but typically he should just be worrying about getting as much farm as possible. Artillery could also make that call, like, telling a ganker, "Hey, come up here, help him out." But they should really just be worrying about CS, and the ganker should know what he's supposed to do. And when he sees the opportunity, he can make that call so that your carries can just farm, 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 farm. And that's what's going to happen in this particular instance. I'm just going to, go through all the different calls I'm going to make. I'm going to TP here. I don't. While I TP'd, I missed this call that Monkey King is coming into the jungle, um, and he has the Assassin Shroud, which I didn't notice. He got it really, really early. You'll notice we're only 14 minutes into the game. I didn't even notice that. So Aluna's going to get ganked here in a second. Although artillery did ping it, I didn't notice. I'll be honest, I don't remember noticing that in this game. I'm focused on top. So I come in top and I saw the nymph. I alert Pred that, hey, I'm looking here. We don't see anything initially, but there's nymph, so we're gonna find her. He's like, can I go? I'm like, yep, we're going. I stun. We go. I know when Pels gets out of this, he's gonna stun. I try to avoid it. I get the tail end, which is bad. But we're gonna be able to chase this down. Magnus is here anyway, and we're faster than him. Aluna did get ganked while this was going on, like I said right here, and Monkey King looked like he came this way, so we're trying to pick him off. I look down, I see the 14-minute rune was an invisibility. I kind of have my eye there because I'm waiting for him to come out, and I see Engineer turn around. And I noticed this like in a hair second, and I thought this was like one of the best plays I've made in a long time, at least as far as reaction time. So I turn around almost instantly, and Magnus keeps going. I ping right here because basically this was the call that was made. Stand here and act like an idiot. That was the call that was made in TeamSpeak. It was rather interesting. Actually, I wish I had the recording. Um, and I'm like, just stand there and act like an idiot. I have them stand there for like 1 to 2 seconds, but they don't come. So I'm like, okay, go do the small camp. Maybe they think it's bait. So if you farm, they won't think it as much. And we're waiting to see this initiation. We're both right here, ready to go. Engineer lays the ult, but we're gonna have enough power to, he's expecting to lay that stun, and with that anticipation, our reaction time is just drastically better. Nymph tried to TP, but she's just gonna be an extra kill. She's going to be an extra kill for us all day long here. And Magnus is on his way. We have Predator on his way. Engineer's going to go down. And we're going to, I believe we catch up to this nymph. Yeah, we're going to catch up to this nymph, no problem. She goes the wrong way. I think she might have been a little bit better off here. Pebbles ported back in and is coming with PK. He probably shouldn't have come, and looks like, no, I'm going to get a long range stun. He's going to go down too. He's going to go down. And, that was just a really, really good setup of events. But my biggest concern there was the initial, just the teleporting, and, make sure if you're playing a ganker that your carry doesn't have to worry about, oh, hey, this lane's pushed up. You should constantly already be looking for those, especially that early in the mid game. Typically, your least talkative people should be your hard carry. That should be your least talkative person, is your hard carry. Your most talkative person should be your ganker and your support. Your support should be constantly looking for, talking about, okay, what are we doing as far as wards, and, talking to your ganker with where they want them, whether we want defensive wards or not. And then your second support should be just worry about stacks, and gain additional farm for your relative carries. The next thing I want to talk about is team fights and how we communicate during them, because so often we'll just get into our own little zone, and I kind of want to show you what a normal team fight looks like and what's normally talked about and how we should go about talking about them instead. Okay, so I wanted to open up this part of the game because it's really interesting. This looks what looks to be the most simple gank in the entire world. And I want you to just watch what the madness that it turns into, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. I'll try to get all of it as possible. Sorry, I'm not the greatest cameraman. Initially, we just have, this is the same game that you saw earlier with the Glaciers, but initially we have the Pebbles with PK and Invisibility currently up, and he's looking to gank this Forsaken Archer Rally in the jungle. The rest of the team spread out. We have Soul Reaper doing his thing, and the rest of the team pretty spread out. But we have good vision on the rest of the team, so it's not too bad. Pebbles steps up with the Invis. He's going to look to get the gank off. He sends it as soon as Rally's there. Looks good, maybe. No Chuck? No Chuck. They're going to finally get the gank. There's TPs in. FA's going to get away with minimal health. And Soul is in charging. The rest of the team is on their way. We have SR and Parasite on their way. Right here's the first part that we're going to look at. Basically, the big thing that I want to cover here is the amount of the lack of communication. And you can just see that by the number of different targets people go on. So you can watch initially Parasite, I believe, is going to face Hug. Is that going to... I wish I could see who he's targeting. We'll see in a second. I believe... I don't remember if it goes to Solstice or Luna. It goes to Luna. Then we have the rest of the team, Soul Reaper on Solstice. We have Witch Slayer up there. Parasite ends up killing the Luna and then starts heading for the Witch Slayer. The rest of the team is worried about the Solstice. Pebbles misses a stun. SR still worrying about the Solstice. Solstice goes down. Pebbles is starting to back. Parasite's making his way to Witch Slayer. He calls out for Soul Reaper to come with. Meanwhile, Pebbles is still getting chased by a scout. Parasite is diving Witch Slayer while Soul Reaper still attacks the tower. And then Parasite's going to get ganked. Soul Reaper's still on the tower. Pebbles actually making his way back into the fight. And it finally ends. So hopefully I covered all of that remotely well. That's sort of typical fight at all the way up. Like I'm now at like 17:30 is the time I'm making this video. And I've played multiple 1900 games now. Like I've queued and gotten multiple 1900s with me. The fights will happen like that all the way through 1800. All the way through 1800. And so often, the way the fights, like even people that have mics and are talking to each other, the way they're most often going on is go, 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 back, 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 can we turn, can we turn? And that's all that's really talked about. The way we could correct this, going all the way like back to the beginning, you know, they'll be like, okay, go, 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 go. Okay, yeah, we're on our way, we're on our way. And then what'll happen here is after they TP in, it usually just gets straight to madness and everyone does their own thing. But what should happen here, like literally right here at this moment, Soul Reaper's on his way and Parasite's on his way. What needs to be talked about is who are we attacking? Who are we going on? So and if you're the carry especially, or if you're any sort of big burst damage, you should just, all you have to do instead of go, 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 back, back, back is just insert the name of the person you're going on. So Parasite would be like Aluna, Luna, 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 and then instead of having Soul Reaper switch that could have been, you know, faster burst if she would have lived. And then he's yelling Witch Slayer, Witch Slayer, Witch Slayer, Witch Slayer instead of the chaos that's going on here. So the team's together as opposed to go, 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 back, back, back. And that's the easiest way to alter it. And then you kind of have the chaos here that happens where Parasite keeps going and then SR keeps attacking the tower. That's just real bad. But what are you gonna do? That's part of life. We'll see it happen. But that's really, really easy communication that can be altered. And that's the way most team fights go. So that's just something I want you guys to think about as we just try to get better at communicating. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it and learned something. And I promise you I have more things to talk about in the future. I will see you guys next time. Take care.